It is Sunday morning. Rise and shine. This is Coffee Talk. I'm first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. It's a beautiful, beautiful start to the day. Just take a live look. Of course, I've got that graphic in. We'll get to that later. Off with you. Okay. At least it's a beautiful morning. That's all I was trying to say. There's a shot from our Tower Cam network. This is over in New Smyrna Beach. Things are looking pretty nice. Let me head down to Melbourne, see what's doing. Looking very, very good. Over to the Cape Canaveral area, looking up towards Space Launch Complex 39. It is beautiful. And speaking of which, we head over to Space Launch Complex 39A, and there is a live look of today's Falcon 9, the rocket that is set to blast off 4 astronauts to the International Space Station. It is the Axiom 2 mission. We'll be talking much more about that mission and, of course, the forecast for it in just a couple of minutes' time. But before we do that, let's just look outside, see what's doing on our Tower Cam network. Over to our first warning live Doppler radar, and we are nice and quiet. It's a beautiful start. 77 degrees, our current temperature in Orlando. It's 77 in Leesburg, 74 in the Villages. So temperatures are coming up little by little by little. They're coming up more and more, and I'm here for it, frankly. Here's a look at the forecast today. Up to about 87 degrees by 11 o'clock, 90 degrees by 1 p.m., and 91 our high temperature. And yes, we're getting up there. Yeah. Showers, thunder showers, the whole 9 yards. Good stuff. It's going to be an active afternoon again. But this is just kind of the start of what is going to be active afternoons. We're going to be tracking widespread showers and thunder showers, not just today, but really increasing that coverage the next couple of days. All right. So with that said, let's get right over to our Futurecast model and just try to zero in on our forecast using Futurecast. All right, here we are. Okay, this morning looking good. By 11, 12 o'clock, one thing I've noticed, recent runs of Futurecast show these showers kind of cropping up just a little bit, all right? It's not going to be a washout by noon, but don't be surprised if we start to get a little bit of rain showing up. There's 1:30, 2 o'clock, showers around, continuing 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, showers and storms. At this point in time, I think we're going to get the sea breezes colliding, and as that happens, watch the kind of more intense stuff firing up 6, 6:30, 7 o'clock, particularly from the tourist district through Lake County and Sumter County. Could get, a nastier storm develop, and of course, I'll be popping radar on all of our social channels as is needed. But generally speaking, through 8, 9 o'clock, we're still going to be watching rains. And then by about 10:30, 11 o'clock, Futurecast saying even in our northern spots, could still be watching just a little bit of rainfall. So there you go. It's not a washout of a day by any stretch of the imagination, but there is going to be some showers and storms around. And with that, I will stop running my mouth and I will say good morning to you. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Carla, good morning. Tina, Nancy, good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's a Sunday. Willie, how are you? Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Connie, Jan's in the room. Good morning. Easy like Sunday morning, Janice says. I kind of feel that way. Yeah. Marie, good morning. Gretchen, good morning to you. Looking good in the neighborhood, right? All right. Now, that's what's going on today. Let's look at what's going on the next couple of days, all right? So we've got this little piece of energy, this old frontal boundary that's kind of moving in, and what we're going to see is a little area of low pressure trying to form along this old front and just basically cruise through the peninsula the next couple of days. There's Tuesday, for example. Wednesday into Thursday, that low kind of scoots across and starts moving into the waters just off of our east coast. As this happens, it's essentially just dumping moisture over top of Central Florida. And as it dumps moisture, obviously we carry high rain coverage. Kind of goes without saying. I mean, I know it does, but here we are. So today it's a 40% coverage of rainfall, but it's an 80% coverage of rainfall for tomorrow, an 80% coverage of rain for Tuesday, and an 80% coverage of rain on Wednesday. Yeah. And because of the positioning of this, I just want to point out during the month of May, we typically see tropical systems that do form, and only about 2% of these yearly storms develop during the month of May. But during the month of May, you kind of notice they're littered around Florida. Some make it down in the Caribbean, but the vast majority of them are around Florida. Why? What's the weather pattern to develop a tropical system in the month of May? I'll show it to you. You basically take an old front, have it die out over top of you, and have it deposit a piece of energy. I feel like that's exactly what we're expecting this week. Yeah. And so that said, while the Hurricane Center, that's the discussion. While the Hurricane Center hasn't necessarily tagged anything as an area of interest per se, all right, we look to the Hurricane Center's products. There's nothing that has like a chance for development. We take a closer inspection and we see there's kind of this little upper level piece of energy off of the Florida East Coast. It's nothing scary, right? It's nothing scary. But over the next couple of days, I would say into this week, watching the extreme eastern Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic waters from around the Bahamas north. It's nothing that the Hurricane Center has circled, but models are continuing to try and do something out here, and it does fit into our long-range weather pattern that we had highlighted back in March. So, could be something. Homegrown systems happen. It's the way it goes, but homegrown systems do happen. Yeah. So, just keep that in mind. Don't be surprised if you start to see that, get push alerts and see tweets from me just talking about something. For right now, there's really, thankfully there's nothing going on. I'll take you to the satellite imagery, and at least in terms of the tropics, there is an upper level low off of the kind of east coast of the Turks and Caicos there. That's an upper low, referred to commonly as a Tutlow, but it's not going to do much. It's just something to watch. But again, as our little weather maker does its thing, don't be surprised if we start at least shading in some colors on the National Hurricane Center map, okay? We are less than 2 weeks away now from the beginning of hurricane season. So it's, water temperatures out this direction, by the way, are plenty warm. Water temperatures out that direction are running anywhere from 2 to 4 degrees, 2 to 3 degrees really, above average, particularly in the Gulf Stream waters. So it's an area we'll watch. Water temperatures for tropical development need to be at about 80 degrees, and we're going to be in that ballpark in this area. So we've got the energy to suffice. At the very least, we're going to get rain. At the very most, we're going to get flooding rain, no matter development or not, okay? So that's kind of where we're at, all right? Any other questions about this at all? If not, we can move on and we can talk about the rocket launch. I'm good talking about that too. Tiffany's asking, did I get to work on time? I did. I'll share you a story in a few seconds' time, but that's the latest on the tropics. Let's get to the rocket launch, and then we can story time and how I almost missed work today. I didn't almost miss it, but it was closer than I'd like. All right, rocket launch. The Axiom 2 mission goes up at 5:37 today. Forecast looks pretty good. Anvil and cumulus clouds are going to be our biggest concerns. 60% chance of good weather for this one. The ascent corridor looks fine. The wind shear concern looks fine. There is no booster recovery per se, because the first stage, that booster, is actually landing back at the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station today. This is going to be the first crewed mission that SpaceX is going to be using the landing zones as a recovery site. So no drone ship recovery, landing at the landing zone, which means that about 8 minutes or so after liftoff, if it goes up, you're going to get the twin sonic booms. I can tell you, I've been to the Cape when this happened. It's startling. But essentially, Volusia, Seminole, Orange, Brevard, Osceola, and perhaps even Polka counties can't rule out the chance of you hearing those sonic booms. Okay? Can't rule out that chance of hearing those sonic booms later on. All right. Cindy says you're always scarily accurate. Well, thank you, my dear. I appreciate that. Chris says I'll take the rain, but I'll miss the swim. Listen, if you get the swim done early, you'll be fine. It's not the greatest swim day, but it's also not the worst. I'm going to say today's a good day. It's a good day to go into the. I have a feeling that as soon as I get home, I have a feeling I'll get into the swimming pool. So yeah, there's that. The winds are not a concern for the rocket launch. None of that stuff. Okay. All right. How much time do we have? We're still good. All right. We're still good. All right. Story time, people. May I? All right. So I always set my alarm. Okay. I'll show you. All right. So I always set my alarm, like tomorrow morning's alarm is set for 5:15. And these are the, if I need to wake up in the middle of the night at WESH alarms. And you see I've got like 5-minute increments, right? Well, obviously I was on the air by 5:15, so today's was not at 5:15. But this morning's alarm was set and I went to bed. My phone was fine. Everything was working fine. All right. I wake up this morning and I hear my phone alarm, but I go to like touch my phone to turn it off, and my phone is just it's dead. There's nothing on my phone screen. Like my desktop right now is the beautiful Space Shuttle Discovery. It wasn't there. I was trying to, and I was like, what's going on? And it turns out, I guess, and this is technology. I guess the Apple Watch recognized that the phone was not working, so the Apple Watch actually made the noise loudly. So it took me a second to like fumble around to find the Apple Watch, because I'm not usually grabbing my Apple Watch at that time. Yeah. My phone was $1,000 brick this morning. So I get my watch and I turn it off, and I'm like, well, this is annoying. First off, like my phone isn't working. This is annoying. So I get up and this is a backup I didn't know I had. I always set my Amazon device to go 5 minutes after my phone alarm. So I turned off the Amazon device, and as I'm getting ready, I'm like, wow, did I just dodge a bullet? So I posted it to my Facebook, I posted it to my Twitter. But boy, did I dodge a bullet there. Whew. Taylor says the wife must have been pissed with all the commotion. I think I was quiet enough. I mean, I can't promise, but I don't think she woke up. But she's pretty used to me waking up at the worst hours on the planet. You know what I mean? Like, I do the morning show all the time. I do the night show. I'll come. There are times where I'll do the night show, get in at midnight, 12:30, and then be back up at 5 o'clock. It's the worst. Yeah. Janice, which Apple Watch do I have? No, I have the Ultra, Janice. I love this thing. Yeah, I love it. It's big and bulky, and I love that. Taylor, she sleeps through alarms. She does. Yeah. John, sounds like a proximity charger issue. Knocked it off the charger at night. No. So I've had about every Apple Watch that is ever been created, and this one just locks up and shuts off on its own sometimes and just freezes up sometimes. So I had to do it's like push the top button, the bottom button, and the right button, and it hard restarts it. And I was able to get it back on. And then the alarm went off because it was like, I'm here. But yeah, so I may need to make an Apple Genius Bar appointment, have them look at this, because this phone, this happens like once a month. And truth be told, when I got this phone and it started doing that weird stuff, I was like, I wonder how long it'll take until it hoses me from a morning shift. So this morning was that. We'll get it looked at. But out of all of the Out of all the phones I've ever had, this 14 Pro Max or whatever it is the most troubled phone I've had. So yeah. Is your Ultra Watch a Generation 2? I don't think they have a Generation 2. There's only one generation of the Ultra. So yeah. Crystal says my phone locks up like that all the time too. I mean, I've never had an error with any other one. So there's that. Yeah, I know this has become from coffee talk to Apple nerd talk. Are you still practicing? Yep. I'm gonna criticize and critique. I'm gonna make you cry after my Today Show cut in.
You always do.
I don't really make him cry.
Good morning, y'all.
Keep. These children today.
My alarm went off on time.
Nice. Shauna says Tool, Incubus, Deftones. Seriously? Okay, I'm a rock fan, and I guess I didn't realize that, like, how great Rockville is. Like, I was listening to Incubus just last week. Tool I was listening to a couple of days ago. And the Deftones? Seriously? All right. All right, might need to go to this event next year. Man. I'll bet you $1. That why would the Wi-Fi completely brick my phone though? That doesn't make sense to me. Yeah. Is there any rain in Plant City today? My grass is dying. Yeah, there should be some shot. Listen, if you don't get it today, you're going to get it the next couple of days. We are talking about some big showers and storms. Taylor says, ooh, bring us on a field trip and let him practice for us. All right, I'll bring you over there. He's doing it silently. Okay, keep practicing. You can be silent, but they want to see you practicing. Live on Coffee Talk. He's the non-intern, the job shadower. All right, go show them. You can be silent.
Yeah.
He's going through the motions.
So Axiom 2 liftoff today, 5:30 this morning. 5:30 this evening rather, and Anvil clouds, cumulus. This is one thing we're keeping a lookout for, 60% chance of good weather. And looking out at Falcon 9, beautiful start to the morning. About 8 o'clock right now. Clean sweep on first morning live Doppler radar.
The kid's going to be good. The kid's going to be good. We'll give him a chance to practice. He's going to be just fine. He'll be just fine. All right. Let's see here. You're still a child with an old soul. Thank you, Janice. I appreciate that. Yeah, I had no idea, Annie. Evanescence, like, listen to these groups that are out there. I had no idea. Torture the minion. I know, poor guy. He's just trying to learn. And he's too young to get an internship yet. So he comes in when he's in town, throw him at the green screen, and then listen, when he's old enough, we'll have him as an intern. In the meantime, we'll work with him. Tiffany, he needs to relax. Shh, we don't want to make him more nervous. He's a good guy, though. He's got to have the pressure put on a little bit. He had a little bit of pressure. I gave him a couple of seconds on Coffee Talk with the pressure, and then we remove it. My son crowd surfed to gods. Oh my God, what a fun time. He has a great team. Thank you, David. I appreciate it. Cheryl, thank you. Age is just a number until your back starts hurting constantly. Listen, when we got to Disney yesterday, like the first thing I said is I'm like, all right, Starbucks. Like, period. Starbucks. That was my first destination because I did the morning show. Like, I needed to survive. Taylor says that's how you learn. Arnett says he sounds good. He says thank you. Listen. This is. I used to, when I was an intern, across the street, I would, from the morning show on the weekends to the evening show on the weekends, I would just be at the Chroma Key for like 8 hours. I mean, it was a pathetic existence, but you got to practice. And wait a minute. All right, hold on a second. Coming over to you real fast. Okay. So I was gonna say, yeah. So yesterday I was going through because I'm at some point here I'm going to be getting some new computers. My computers are aging. And so at some point yesterday I found it was like 3 months in at WPBF. So I was as green as the chroma key wall.
Yeah.
And I sent it to you and one of my former interns here at WESH, Andrew, who's down in Fort Myers now. And I was watching and I was like, this is bad. And using clean language, because no, Andrew said the bad things. How bad was I on that video?
It was a struggle. It was like, what was it? Tracking Tropical Storm
Ernesto. So it was 2006. I started on the air March 1st. So that was March, April, May, June, July, August. So I was on the air for 5 months.
As low pressure drops, the storm becomes stronger. Just like your golf scores, the lower score means a stronger round.
I mean, I think that was kind of a good colloquial saying, but yeah. So I sent them this video in a group chat we have, and either you or Andrew was like, "Oh, you sucked too." It's like, we all do. Yeah. We all do. And I think that I have said to you many times, you're going to suck your first few years. It's just what it is.
You're always going to suck.
You're always going to think it, but you'll get better eventually. Mm-hmm. These are the nickels worth of free advice that you get at the WESH 2 internship program. Keep practicing. Or not internship, because we'll get you there. Listen, we'll get you there. Job shadowing. Oh man. Yeah, that video, I should post it. You want to see terrible? Literally terrible. Oh God. I showed, the wife and I were watching yesterday and it's like, holy cannoli, this is bad. I've got it on this computer. I'll show it to you after this. Okay. I've got it on this computer. It's terrible. Don't you show it to her. Okay. I want to see her face. Okay. It's that bad. I'll share it with you guys later. Janice is like, post it. Annie's like, post it. I'll post it. It's terrible.
I'll go ahead and trim it down for you.
Please do. Okay. Yeah, trim it down. Trim down and just get like some of the weather clips. Yeah. Because I think there's two. There's like a mini and like the graphics have come away such a way.
This is what, 2006?
It was 2006. It was before Max. It was the weather producer system. Oh my God, I was terrible. I mean, I'm not saying I'm great today, but like at this point, at least I can find my tush from my elbow. Back then it was like, what am I doing here? Good gravy. John says, I got thrown into a live spot at a radio station. I was the technician. The DJ dropped sick and ran out of the building. Oh, God. Oh, man. What platform is he using? Because there's no way he's using this one anymore, Willie. I see your comment, Willie. I don't know what you're talking about. Tina, all the haters are going to have fun with this one. I will post that. If the intern, if Weather Grogu trims it, if you trim it and send it back, I'll post it today. Let us. Oh, but you have to include the intros, the WPBF news intro and you have to include because it's dramatic. Yeah. It's a part of my childhood because I remember when WESH had that music and all that stuff. Yeah. Anyway, all right, we'll post it. Oh my God, it's so bad. It's so y'all. You're gonna get a good laugh. I was fighting for every word. Mm-hmm. Okay, we got 2 minutes, and it's Seamless Sunday, so I'm stealing Max one back real fast.
Yep.
While we're talking, didn't I tell you that I had the exact same issues that you have? Mm-hmm. Fighting for the words, trying to get it out, and you could see where I've got a good idea, and it just never comes out.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I always tell everybody. Doing TV is so easy. You could train a monkey to do it, but the monkey has to get experience. Yeah. That's the thing. It's not that it's hard. Listen, we're not saving lives in here. We're not digging ditches. We're not roofing houses. But it takes a while to figure out how to talk. And I know that sounds silly, but as Taylor says, it's like you're fighting for your life because it's so different. If you're opening up Premiere, let me send you the high resolution clip of it and not I'll airdrop it to you.
Okay.
You can always tell when you go. I would always, whenever I would travel with like the UCF marching band, and I remember being in West Virginia for the Marshall University football game, turning on the TV and being like, oh, this must be a smaller market than Orlando. Because you'd have younger kids on TV and you'd have people fighting for every word they were trying to get out. Just the way it goes. It's okay.
Yeah. I feel like in the 3 weeks I've been coming in, I've grown a lot.
You have.
Just
And you're going to
from
continue.
the FSU.
It's slowing down, and that's why to me the internship process, and that's why I wanted you to come in before you don't need to be that old, you've got the drive, you're willing to come in on your time, and unless the boss yells at me, don't yell at me. Let's get you to a position where come internship time you can just rock and roll and really fine tune your skills and really get your demo tapes so that you can go get a job. Speaking of going and getting a job,
You better do yours.
I better do mine. We got 5 seconds of the Today Show cut in. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you so much, y'all. Be good. Take care. I'll post that terrible clip